Okay, boys and girls. So why do we measure things? Uh-huh.
To help us figure out how long something is.
Yeah, it helps us figure out how long something is. What do you think?
And so we don't mess up on something.
Yeah, because we could easily mess up if we try to fit something that's really big into a small space because we don't know the measurement. What else?
You can measure it so you can make cake or something.
Yeah, make cake so we can measure the liquids and the flour and stuff. So what are some units of measurement that you know of? I'm going to get a list started right here. What do you think? Centimeters? Yeah. What else? Sydney?
Inches.
Inches? Ethan?
Meters.
Meters, yeah. That's another one. Bishop? Bishop?
Yards.
Yards? All right, let's come up with two more. Lexus?
Ounces.
Ounces? One more. What do you think?
Cup.
Cups, yeah. Cups. So if I wanted to measure this envelope, what unit of measurement do you think I would use?
Inches.
Inches? I could use inches. Is there another one I could use if I wanted to? Leah?
Centimeters.
Centimeters. Yeah, I could use inches or centimeters to measure this. What about maybe something really small, like a little stack of staples? What would I use for this one? Centimeters, yeah. So why would it make more sense to use centimeters than inches on this?
Because centimeters is bigger and centimeters is smaller and that's almost the size of a pinky.
Yeah, so centimeters are smaller and this is really small. So if we try to use inches, an inch might even be bigger than this. What about a little hair clip? What do we think about this one?
Maybe just 1 inch.
Yeah, we could measure it in inches. And then what else could we measure it in? What do you think, Drew?
Centimeters.
Centimeters, yeah. So all different units of measurements we can use to measure all different kinds of objects. Does anybody know what a football field is measured in? Ethan?
Yards.
Yards. Yeah, so we do that. What about if you're in the car with your parents? How do you measure how far something is away? Peyton?
Yards.
Yeah, we could do yards. That's one way of measuring. Bishop?
Probably miles.
Miles, yeah. So sometimes you could say the supermarket is 5 miles away from my house. Those are all good ways. So what tools do we use if we want to measure something in inches or centimeters?
Probably inch.
So we measure inches, but what would we use to find the inches? Yeah?
A roller that
Yeah.
says inches.
Yeah, a ruler that has inches on it. So on your desk, you guys each have a ruler. So this ruler, what 2 units does it have on it? You said one of them. You said inches. What else does it have?
Centimeters.
Centimeters. So the inches line is going to be on one side of the ruler. Did everybody find where the inches are? Okay, and how many inches total is on one ruler? Leah?
12.
12. Yeah. And if you look at where 1 inch is, How many centimeters about does it look like fit into an inch? Ethan?
30.
30? Yeah, so if you look at the 1 inch line, there's the 30 centimeter line. But how many centimeters do you think fit into that little inch? 3. Yeah, it's a little less than 3, a little more than 2. So centimeters are smaller than inches, correct? Yeah, so we're just going to look at measuring some of the items with our rulers today. And we want to look at measuring them in both inches and centimeters. So do you think the number of units will change from each inches to centimeters? Yeah, because they're different sizes. So the first item, I want each of you to grab a pencil. Does everybody have a pencil? Okay, so if I wanted to measure a pencil, would I start here on my ruler? No? What about here?
No.
What about at the end?
Yeah.
Yes. So if I wanted to measure in inches the size of my pencil, I'd put the eraser to the very end and measure all the way till my tip of lead. So my pencil is about 7 inches. And our pencil sizes might be different because the erasers might be more used or they might have been sharpened more times. But mine's about 7 inches.
Mine's
19? Which end did you start on? Oh, yeah, that's the centimeters. What about for the inches? So we're going to try inches first. 7? Okay. I want each of you to write the number of inches for the pencil where it says under the inches column. So for mine, I will write 7.
No, square box that I have a
Yeah,
rectangle.
in the box right there.
Mine is 8.6.
That's fine. You can write 7.5. Or you can round to the nearest inch if you want.
It's in between 8 and 7.
Yeah, you can round to 8 inches if you want, or you can write 7.5. Yeah. So like what Bishop did, his was at 7.5 because it was in between 7 and 8 inches. You guys can either write 7.5, or if you want to round to the closest inch, you can. It's up to you.
How would you round it?
How would you round it? So if yours is just a little bit over 7, so it's not halfway to 8 yet, so I would go down to 7. Okay, so now we want to get the measurement in centimeters. So how would we measure it in centimeters?
Put it all the way down at the 1.
All the way down at the end?
0.
At the 0. All right. And then we have to make sure we're on the centimeter side. So we'll start at 0, and right by 0, it will say cm for centimeters.
Mine is 19 inches.
So my pencil looks like it's about at 17.5 centimeters, but I'm going to go ahead and round mine to 18.
Mine is 19 inches. Oh. 19 centimeters.
Okay, so did you guys get the measurement for centimeters?
Yeah.
Yes. All right, so the next item is a notebook. So I want each of you to get a notebook out of your desk to measure. So for your notebook, I want you guys to measure from the very bottom up to the top of the notebook. Just like that. Yes, we'll do inches first. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna.
Mine is Mine is 9.5.
9.5.
I can't really tell because my notebook.
Oh, because of the color?
It's nearly.
Yeah, you can try measuring at the end right here. So if you just measure the end.
What if your thing is taller than the thing is?
We might have to use a bigger ruler then. Okay, what did we get for how long our notebooks are in inches? Lexus? How many? 10. 10 inches. Did we get 10 inches? Yeah, 9.5, 10. All right, I'll write 10 to round it. What about centimeters? Oh, you might be looking at the centimeters. Now, what if we measure the notebook in centimeters? What do we get?
I would get.
Elena, what'd you get? 24. Did anybody else get 24 centimeters?
I got 25. I got 24 and a half.
Oh, let's start all the way. Yeah, it's 24.
I can't get it straight.
You got 24 and a half.
Mine is 24 and a half.
Okay, so our notebook will be in between 24, 25, 24 and a half centimeters. Okay, so I'll round it. I'll put 24 centimeters for that one. The next item that we'll measure is our hand. So when we measure our hand, our sizes of our hand might vary because we all have different size hands. But what I want you to measure is start from the very end of your palm all the way until the tip of your middle finger, because that's where the longest part of your hand is.
Mine is 7.5.
7.5?
Mine's 5.5.
5.5? Yeah, we'll all get different answers.
Actually, 12.
12. That's not your hand. It's your whole arm. Okay, did you guys find the length of your hand in inches?
Yeah, 5.5.
All right.
Yeah, 5.5.
I got 6. So for mine, I'll write 6. But I want you guys to write the measurement that you got for your own hand. Here's a pencil if you want. What measurements did we get for our hands? What'd you
I
get?
got 5.5. I got 5.5.
5.5. Leah, what'd you get? 5.
5.
Bishop, what'd you get? 6. Yeah, so our measurements will probably be anywhere around 5 or 6. Might be a little bit different. And now I want us to do the same thing except with centimeters. So if you measure your hand in centimeters.
15.
You got 15? Yeah, so you can go ahead and write down the centimeter column.
Mine is 30.
13, 30. So right there.
Man, 13.
13. All right, so my hand is 17 centimeters.
Oh my god.
No, it's, oops. Yeah, mine's about 14 centimeters. What are some of the centimeters we got for our hands? What'd you get?
I got 13 and a half.
13 and a half. What'd you get, Ethan?
15.
15.
I actually
Leah,
got
what'd you get?
13.
13. What else? What? 12. Yes, our hands are going to be right. So we range from like 12 to 15 centimeters. Now on your own, I want you to do the same thing, but with a pencil box and a crayon. So we want to get the measurement of each of those items in inches and in centimeters.
Can I have mine?
Yeah, so with your pencil box, just like how Drew's doing, can I see this really quick?
Yeah.
I want you to measure it long ways like this. Just like that.
Oh, inches.
There you go. Yeah, so we'll do inches first and then centimeters.
9 inches. Can I go to centimeters?
Mm-hmm.
9 and a half. 10. Mine's 10 too. Mine is 23.
it's a little bit off the edge.
I got mine. Wait, now. Are you sure?
You finished?
Dummy card.
Okay, and after you measure your pencil box, I want you guys each to measure the crayon in inches and centimeters. Yeah, the centimeters of the pencil box too. Did you round on yours?
Oh,
Looks good.
I messed up. I was supposed to do crayon. What was crayon work to measure it? Like your school box. Okay, I would take the 25 centimeters.
25.
27 centimeters. 3 inches. Would it work to measure it like that?
Yeah, you can measure it like that and you can see both inches and centimeters.
Okay, I got one. 3.5. It was not 25.
Okay, who can come up to the board and write their answer for the pencil box for me? Lexus? All right. Okay, so what did you get for that one?
9 and 23.
9. What's the unit on that one? So you got 9. What unit is that? Yeah, so you got 9 inches and, yeah. And then who can write their measurement for the crayon? You want to come write it?
My crayon was what? My crayon in inches was 3.5,
3.5. Yeah, so you didn't round.
and my in centimeters I didn't miss anything. I messed up on that.
Okay. So you got in between 3 and 4 inches.
In inches, in centimeters, it's actually 3.5.
3.5 centimeters? Okay. What else did we get for that one? Should we have inches and centimeters be the same?
No.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be 7 and 8.
Oh, 7 and 8. Okay. All right. Do you want to change that to 7 and 8? Here you go. We'll erase that. So we got between 7 and 8 inches, and 3 and 4 centimeters. I think, yeah, so inches are bigger than centimeters. So I think you just got these switched. So it's between 3 and 4 inches and 7 and 8 centimeters. So I'll just draw an arrow to switch those. All right, so if you look at the grid, which item was the longest item on there? Leah?
The notebook.
The notebook. And how'd you know that was the longest item?
Because it had the largest number.
Because it had the largest number. Yeah, its measurements were the biggest. So under the longest item, or on the longest item line, you guys can each write notebook. Yeah?
My pencil box and notebook were both 10 inches.
They were both 10?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you round those?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So they might be rounded. So if you hold your pencil box next to your notebook, you can see which one's longer. Okay, yeah. So if you look at your measurements, your notebook's bigger. Okay, thank you. And then if we look at the measurement table again, which item is the shortest item?
Crayon.
The crayon? And how do we know that a crayon is the shortest?
Because it had the smallest numbers.
Yeah, it had the smallest numbers. So next to shortest item on that line, you guys can each write crayon. All right, and for number 3, it has number sentences. So what it's asking you to do is do the longest measurement and subtract the shortest measurement and find the difference. So what's the measurement of, so if we rounded the number of inches, what's the measurement of the notebook? Bishop?
Mine is 9.5.
9.5. So if we rounded it, what would it be?
10.
10? Yeah, so we'll do 10 inches. So then if we subtract the shortest amount of inches, rounded, what would it be? What's the number that would go here? Ethan? 4. All right, so what's the difference between the longest and shortest in inches?
6.
6. Yeah, so 6 inches is the difference between the longest item and the shortest item. All right. And then I want each of you to do the same thing, but for centimeters on your own. So we're going to find the longest centimeters and subtract the shortest length in centimeters from it and find the difference. Yeah? Yeah, you can do that.
Can we make sure we write on the back?
You can write on the back if you want.
I know that'd be in the tins. So 25 by 6. 25. 24.
So what did you get for your longest centimeters? Okay, and how many was that?
24.
24, good. So which one was the shortest for you?
Crown.
And how many centimeters did you get? Okay. Okay. Isaac, can you tell me what you got for the centimeters? 24. Okay, so what was the difference you got?